So how did it go when you first started in Egypt?
When I first came back in Egypt, it was a culture shock. It's like I never lived here. No, but it's true because I came back as a completely different person.
Yes, it
So
is.
I came back with completely different values, completely different priorities and responsibilities, and I know a lot of people watching this who are from the Arab world or who are Egyptian will understand. But I remember I was at the office or like looking for an office and working 24/7 and working on a paper that was getting published. And I was invited to a wedding.
Okay.
With my parents. So I went to this wedding and a girl that I know, she comes up to me and she's like, "Are you seeing someone?" And I'm like, no, I'm not. And she's like, "It's okay. You'll find someone." And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, I have 2 master's degrees. I'm starting a business. I'm probably on like the cusp of something very innovative and revolutionary, but it's okay. I will find a man to hold me at night. Like,
for sure, but you're focusing now on something big, something that...
And it was just, I felt so isolated.
Yes.
But I decided this was a strategic decision, and I was going to work and focus and devote my life to it. Also, just spoiler alert: I met someone and got married. But it's very different. So I remember just devoting my life to it and just being really happy to be with my family. It was such an important decision for me to be with my parents and my siblings and with my grandmother and my uncle and my aunt. We're such a close-knit family, so that was the support I really needed. And, you know, I kept in touch with all of my friends from London, and London was an easy commute for me. And then just when things started to pick up, we got the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I'm a new business.
Yes.
And besides being a new business, I'm a new industry on its own, I guess.
Yes.
And I'm not cheap, you know, because it is a luxury service.
Okay.
And people were panicking. People were investing in necessities. They were not spending any extra money. People were losing their jobs. And it wasn't an opportunity for them to go and be like, "Oh, I'm curious. I'll try something new." At all. And especially that it was therapy and people were being left alone with their thoughts in lockdown and isolation. So many people did not want to deal with that.
Okay. It was very stressful.
Very stressful. And especially on mental health. Like, it was just so intense as an experience. After that, no one was going out.
Yes,
so what are we going to dress for? I'm in my pajamas 24/7. Who the hell cares? Yes. It was a difficult time for Styled, but it was a good opportunity for me because I had just started, so I was testing.
Okay.
It was 2 years of market research, of rebranding, of marketing, of hiring people and letting them go, of figuring out my role, of figuring out my voice. Was I going to be a luxury brand and talk to people formally, or was I going to be super casual? But given my price point, where did I want to stand? And at the same time, I was the only person who could talk about Styled.
Okay.
And again, I know you're going to ask me this.
You're hitting all the points.
But it flows really nice.
Yeah.
The hardest thing I have to do, the hardest thing about Styled is my imposter syndrome.
Okay.
So standing forefront of a company or of a business or a project or something and talking about it is something that I don't feel like I'm worthy of.
Okay.
I'm under 30. I don't have many years of work experience, but I, pardon my French, fucking adore this more than anything. So I have to be in the face of the company, you know? And it was hard. And it took me 2 years to come out of my comfort zone and do something like this, or to put my face up and my body and my story on the internet. And I'm so thankful for those 2 years because it was like that 1 year in London.
Okay.
When you're experiencing so much that just expedites your purpose, those 2 years expedited me as a businesswoman.
Okay.
Because my whole life was Styled.
Yes.
On the couch, at the office, in the street. There was nothing else to do. So I was so consumed just perfecting the business and dealing with my imposter syndrome and dealing with the idea of being the representative of something that I think I'm not worthy of. So that was COVID. Yes. And I guess still is COVID.
Yes, kind of.
I'm getting my booster after tomorrow, so. But yeah, and right now, I feel like, and I say this to so many people, and so many people who have talked to me about moving back to Cairo or going into a different company or a different business, I tell them, if you know who you are and what your values are and what makes you happy and what your purpose is, everything else will follow. It's almost like, you know, I used to give this example a lot when I used to first introduce fashion psychology to people. It's like, if you're dressed in a certain way, suddenly you'll start to meet people who are dressed in a certain way, and you're like, oh, all these people like the same things.
Yes.
You know, it's like going to a concert. If you're all wearing, like, I don't know, like a
Sense of belonging.
Exactly. It's a sense of belonging, you know, and it's incredibly important. So I feel like over time, even during the pandemic, I started to meet people like you.
Yes.
People like Yasmin, people like Lulu, people who were struggling the same things through the same things, and people who were passionate about the same things and wanted the same things, and we created our own sense of community. And I meet these incredible people every day, and they inspire me, and I feel like, okay, we're on this journey together, we're gonna be fine.
Yes,
and
definitely.
That's one of the most beautiful things I think about being here, because it is my comfort zone. It is where my family is. It is where the sun shines except for this year.
This winter.
This winter was ridiculous. For 360 days a year. And it's ultimately where I will find a small niche of people who help me and that I can help them. And we have this influx of startups now, and it's very overwhelming, but it's very inspiring.
It is. It is. And I think this gets me back to the first question I wanted to ask, which is why styled? And I think during like the harsh times of the pandemic, it feels if you're not very clear on why you're doing something, you might doubt yourself, you might quit at some point of time. It's so hard, but knowing really what you want and why you're doing it, it's...
But that's, I think, one of the most beautiful things about the pandemic. And, you know, we can talk about it now because it's past, but it puts things into perspective. Something that I've really, really learned, and I know a lot of people that have, is because you're limited to the number of people you can see, the number of places you can go, the number of experiences you can have, it makes it so much more special. And it makes you realize, this is what I want to do. This is the person I want to see. This is the movie I want to watch. And it just makes you realize the things that you really do value and the things that are really important to you and the things that prioritize you in general. Like the friends that used to call me daily because they wanted to make sure I was okay.
Yes.
And the messages I used to get for random reasons be like, remember this, you're going to be fine. Like, remember when you were studying on the floor in the library, look how far you've come. And those are things that make you realize, no, this is important. You are important. Now is important, you know?
Yes.
And that was, I think, we had to take a step back.
I think it's funny. I think I know lots of people actually changed their career during the pandemic. I think even, me myself, like after 14 years of corporate and now doing what I love the most. But I think it's... me personally, I took a lot of things for granted, including that I'm maybe in a good career and I'm in a comfort zone somehow, but I think it made me question what's really important and what I really want to do in life. So I think it was a very harsh times, but it was very important.
It was, but at the end of the day, the greatest lessons come from pain.
True.
It's not an easy lesson to learn, but that's the way life works, right? Loss, love, pain, heartbreak, sickness. It makes you realize the important things, you know?
So true.
We got very deep very quickly.
Yes, we did.
We need to talk to me about your shoes.
This is the human element. So let's focus a bit on the business. Like, what would clients expect? Like, if I'm someone who's coming, and is styled for everyone? Is it for females, for males? Okay.
Anyone. Yes. If you wear clothes, you are welcome. Let me just put it like that.
100% of
anything.
Nice. So what do I expect? So if I'm coming for a session with you.
Okay.
So what do I expect to happen?
So we have 2 packages, right? So you want to have your coffee?
Yes.
Okay. Warning to the camera as he's reaching for his cup. I have 2 packages. The first one is sort of like an introduction to fashion psychology in general. So it's a 30-minute Zoom call, and we sort of just talk about the client's lifestyle and, you know, what their motivations are, their obstacles and stuff. Just a very, very casual, quick conversation. And then they get an email with things that we spoke about, and then how they can implement fashion psychology in their lives. So it's more of just like a guideline, you know, do with it what you will. It's almost like a teaser to the main package. Because I think one of the main obstacles, if you will, about styled is that fashion psychology is such a new topic and it's such a new idea, I guess. a new phenomenon. So people don't really know what it is, what it means, and what to expect from it. So it's important for me via social media, through things like this, to sort of introduce it to them, to sort of tell them that it exists and that it can apply to them. So that's the first package. The second one is a lot more extensive. So it's a 1 hour and 30-minute session. They come to the office, and
the office is in the Medic, right?
Is in the office right here. Or we do it on Zoom because obviously
so
during...
it can be done remotely as well.
Exactly. During COVID, I was doing it on Zoom, and I have clients abroad that we just I talk to them virtually.
Yes.
And it's like going to a nutritionist or going to a trainer for the first time. You cannot give someone a nutrition program without telling them everything about your life.
Yes.
How you sleep at night, how you feel in the morning, what your work life is like, what do you do after work, how are your weekends, how's your relationship with your family, do you get stressed out by your spouse, everything, okay? And ultimately, what do you want to do with this plan? So that's what the session is like. We come in, we have a beautiful conversation. I think I have the best clients in the whole world. Really, like it's just the way that we open up with one another, and I don't sit there with like a pen and paper on a chair and my glasses and just let them talk. It is a conversation. So they feel it's a very safe space, and everything stays confidential, obviously.
Yes.
But it's a conversation about what they want in their life. How do they want to feel? How do they want to perform at work? Do they want to run faster when they work out? Do they want to meet more people? Do they want to travel more? Do they want to take up a hobby? Do they want to quit their jobs? It's just like, I'm here because I want to. Okay, yes. So we have this conversation for like an hour, and it's divided into 2 parts. Obviously, like we talked before, a lot of it is about their extrinsic factors. So it's about what they look like, their skin tone, their eye color, hair color, their sense of style in general, if they have a style idol, anything. And then you have the styled factor, which is the psychology part.
Okay.
And that's when it gets to therapy. Okay. And at the end of the session, I'd like to think they leave feeling a lot better and a little bit lighter. And then about a week later, you get a report like you would with a nutritionist. Yes. The nutritionist or the trainer would send you like, this was your weight, this was your in-body, this is how much I think you should run, this is what I think you should eat, this is what you think. So it's
they actually
similar.
Get like this, they learn about themselves as well from your
Exactly,
report.
Because even if they never come back to styled, they will have a 40-page report with everything that they should, like a guideline. So it's like, imagine you went to a nutritionist and then you go to the supermarket and she tells you, by the way, your calcium levels are a little bit low, so make sure you have a little bit more calcium. She now knows that she needs more calcium, or he now knows that he needs more calcium. It's the same with styling. If I go and I tell them, by the way, you wake up feeling motivated and excited, we want to sustain that, make sure you opt for maybe a pop more color because of your personality. When they go shopping or when they open their closet, they're going to think, oh, I actually do feel excited. So I'm going to take the orange shirt instead of the blue one. You know what I mean? And that's ultimately what I do every morning. So when I wake up in the morning, I like to I have my water and I have my coffee and I play with my little dog. And then I journal. I read a chapter of like a self-help book.
Okay.
Because if it's not self-help, I'll never put it down. So, and then I journal. And then in my journal, I have my gratitude list and I have how I'm feeling right now and how I want to feel at the end of the day. Do I want to feel accomplished? Do I want to feel social? Do I want to feel loved? And when I realize how I'm feeling right now and how I want to feel, I go straight for my wardrobe.
You do this every day?
Every morning.
Nice.
But it becomes subconscious.
Yes.
Because
you don't think about it that much.
I don't think about it, but that's what I tell my clients. Like they tell me how it's so confusing. And so I'm like, no, you just give yourself a minute. I won't even call it meditation. Give yourself a minute to ask yourself, how are you really? How are you feeling? No one else is asking, no one else is looking. It's just you. How are you feeling? Feeling kind of sad, feeling kind of demotivated, feeling kind of tired. Take that. You already have the tool. You know that if you're feeling tired, you don't wear jeans. If you wear jeans, I will come and I will cut you. So she goes to her closet and she doesn't wear jeans. And that's the one item that they create a whole outfit around. It's one thing. It's your calcium. You're low calcium. Have one glass of milk. Have one piece of cheese. Have broccoli, apparently, which has lots of calcium, I think.
I think so too.
I think so. But that's the tool. That's styled. It's the report. So in the report, they have that breakdown, and they have 4 capsule outfits. And those 4 outfits are the things that they should always have on them in their closet. because that's based on their average mood and average goal. Motivated going to work, excited seeing friends. So they have 4 outfits all the time. And they help a lot when the baseline mood, which is our morning mood, is not high.
Okay.
When it's like feeling anxious, feeling bloated, feeling sad, which we all feel. So when that's the feeling and the goal is the same, they have the calcium.
Okay.
There's always milk
They
in
have
the fridge.
what they need, exactly.
There's always milk in the fridge, you know?
I really love it.
Me too.
I love that it feels so special. It feels something that's very unique and it's very customized for. If I'm your client, I feel it's really dedicated for me.
But that's what it is. It's a hyper-personalized product.
Wow.
In a world where we are polluted with options and products and colors and prices, the luxury has become to hyper-personalize. To feel like you are just not a number on someone's database. That you're being heard, that you're being seen, and that is mental health. To feel like someone really does care about you. And that you are seen, you're not just someone in a vast ocean of people. So that's why I was telling you before, the world needs styled.
Yes.
You need to feel seen, you need to feel important.
I can't wait for my session.
It's tomorrow too soon.
It's really nice.
Thank you.
What else we could cover?
The future?
لا في حاجة عايزة دلوقتي. Oh, I have a question.
Tell me.
Can anyone do it twice?
Yes. So that's actually a very good question. Thank you. So part of the second package, part of the second package, which is the main package, is after you get the report, you get a follow-up. And that follow-up happens within a week where we go through the report together. Again, like a nutritionist or a trainer. Is there something you don't understand? Is there something you don't like to eat? Is there something you want to change? Do you want me to elaborate on something? And it just sort of clarifies any misunderstandings or anything that might be new to the client.
Yes.
And then they get 6 months access to the styled emergency line. So when you get the report, we talked about the 4 outfits. Those 4 outfits are your capsules. Because you told me, on average, every morning you feel demotivated and you're going to the office. What if you're nervous for an interview? We never talked about that.
Yes.
So you get to message me. It's a new situation. You message me or you message a stylist and we give you a recommendation for that.
Okay.
So we are your on-demand styling service with a silent P.
Yes. Styled.
Styled. So that's valid for 6 months. And in 6 months, we have another session.
Really?
Yeah, because in 6 months' time, maybe something's changed. Maybe you've changed your job. Maybe you found a new circle of friends. Maybe you physically changed. Maybe you've chopped your hair, dyed it orange. I don't know.
Gained a few pounds. In my case.
I mean, you have Krispy Kreme next to the house.
That's true.
So every 6 months, you know, maybe the client is happy and just keeps going.
Yes.
Maybe they decide not to continue. But it's good to have a check-in point, you know? And it's not very invasive. It's not like I'm telling you come in every week or whatever.
Yes.
But it is a good opportunity for you to do something for yourself.
I love that it's like spread on a longer horizon and, you know, like people change and situations change, and I think it's really good that
even the weather changes, because a lot of the time but really a lot of the time I will give clients outfits for the current season, because they like to start now. So in 6 months time, like say I'm writing a report for a client a month ago for the winter, she'll come in at summer. She can't wear long sleeve jumpers or leather jackets or something, so she's going to need something for the summer. So it is a rolling treat. It is something that constantly changes, just like our life does. So it will always be relevant.
Such an interesting business. I feel like we could keep on talking forever about it.
I have nothing to do. I'm going to order a pizza right now. Fine.
That's really nice. So I think from here, where do you think you're going to take it from here on? What's your future plans for Styled and for you personally?
So there's different routes for me. Obviously, there is the scalability plan for the business. How will I cater to more clients and more demands? And that's that project that I plan on working on. But then there's Styled as an entity, which isn't something I would tell an investor. Like the reason why I'm doing this and I'm not having a normal conversation with, you know, the reason I'm doing it with you, not anyone else, is because I'm not here to talk about the business. I'm talking about Styled, you know, the thing. And so it's not about like a scalability plan. It's just like, where do I see it going? And I know this may seem like a stretch, but Styled is going to be more than just a business that people read about or watch something about. It's going to be a means of healing. It's going to be something that people know, like something that even if it's not styled, people will use fashion psychology in this way. So they will use it to treat changes in mood. They will use it to treat anxiety before an interview. They will use it to treat low self-esteem or confidence before a date. It just becomes something that's natural. You know, I mean, I don't know about you, but before going on a date, I always had a glass of wine. Because I wanted to feel easy. I wanted to feel calm. I wanted to feel confident in myself. Before having an interview, I would call my mom because she always made me feel good about myself. And she always kept my feet on the ground. This is going to be like that. It's going to be a tool that people use. And it's going to be something that they understand. Whether that's FDA approved, whether it's something that's taught in schools, whether it's something that becomes like Google Maps. People don't go anywhere without Google Maps.
True.
People won't go anywhere without styling with a silent P.
Yes.
I just need to keep
writing it down. So
on the bottom, like
Style.
there with a silent P. As for me, I was born to teach.
This is interesting because I was going to say that what you just said, it has a lot of education. So like if you love to teach, then this is the...
I was born to teach. Whether it's in a classroom or in a lecture hall or even in an auditorium with a bunch of people who are just interested, I will continue to tell the story. I will tell my story and I will tell Style's story because we are one and the same. We are intertwined. We are married.
Yes.
And that is my purpose. I will never say never. I will never say I will never sell the business. I will never say I will never change my path. But as of right now, and Aurora was the first person who asked me this. She asked me professionally, where do you see yourself in the moment when you say, I did it. Thank you very much. Good night. And I told her I am standing on a podium, an auditorium filled with people. Styles logo is behind me. And I'm preaching to people who want to listen. And people who are curious and people who understand. And I'm telling them, it works. You're all here. It works. And that is my journey. And this is the very first step.
It's very inspiring.
Thank you. I'm gonna cry.
Yes.
I'm not gonna cry.
I think we need to do a follow-up in the future when you like have something big.
From my office in Milan?
Yeah. We'll come back right away.
It's like, buongiorno, amore. Yeah, I hope so. I'm sure.
Yes.
And I will be the one behind the camera.
Yeah.
Asmi, tell me about your journey in the human element, please.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think you have a great thing going on.
Thank you.
We
do.
Yes, and I'm so curious to have my first session.
Anytime.
Yes.
Anytime.
Actually, when I hear about the session itself, it feels like uplifting.
That's what it's supposed to do. I mean, it's supposed to be real, but it's supposed to give you hope.
Yes.
That there's something else you could do. And I think that's what's... I remember the first time I went to a spin class. I'd never been to a spin class before. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to train. I can just spin and listen to music and feel happy and excited. And it was something to do. And that's it. There is another way of making yourself feel good. What's wrong with that? It's like, I don't know, like having, what was it? It's like a new dessert, the cruffin. It's like a croissant and a muffin came together and had a baby.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's something else I like? Okay, let's do it.
Yes.
Same thing. Why would we say no to something else that's going to make us feel good?
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Yasmina, I really, really enjoyed this episode.
Me too. So much.
Yeah,
so much. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. Good.
Really.
I'm really lucky actually that I've started this episode معك يا عمتن.
I wouldn't have done it with anyone else. Ever.
Amen.
So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
So I think we came to the final question. If you have one single piece of advice, what would it be?
Enjoy the journey. I think when you have a passion or you have a dream, or even if it's just a business, you see what you want it to be. You see the end goal. And you forget about all the steps along the way and all the little wins along the way. And one day you wake up and you realize, I never got to celebrate the day that I got my first like on Instagram, or the day that I got my first client, or the day someone recognized me in the street. And it's really, really important to hold on to all these little joyous moments, because they add up and they make you confident along the way, and they make you believe that it's going to be something worth having. And I think you just need to take a step back and remember that you're already one step further than you were yesterday, because you woke up and you decided to keep going.
So true.
Yeah.
I love it.
Me too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Can I have my pizza now?
Yes, sure. I'll let you do it.
Thank you.